What's up everybody, this is Rich with Lifetime Shred, and today we're going to talk about the Murray Loaded. So I recently dropped in on this bad boy. Been riding the Murray for a long time though. I think this is my 5th Murray board. Been riding it since about 2017 I think I've been on this model, and I love this board. So I've got a quick edit from my first 10 sets on the board, so let's check that out. With the Loaded edition, you know, Hyperlite basically did a limited release just this late summer, fall, where they took the Murray board and they gave it the Loaded treatment, which is a higher end core that's lighter weight and wrapped in carbon. So with this board in particular, you know, I've talked about this in the past in my other Murray video, but this board just has certain features that make it ride really good. First of all, it's a hybrid rocker, so it's like a subtle 3-stage, so it does pop pretty good, but still pretty smooth and rides pretty fast on the water. It's got a nice center spine for really soft landings, which I like a lot. Then maybe my favorite feature is you have this rolled edge between the bindings, so it really is a little bit loose on the water, and some people might not like that, but I personally love it. I love buttering the wake, as you can see here. So anyway, getting into the ride itself, you know, I jumped out on this recently, and the first thing you gotta do when you get out on it, get a feel for the board, butter the wake a little bit. Then you gotta do some jumps. So heel side straighter, toe side straighter. Just those 2 jumps are probably gonna tell you most of what you need to know about the board. And then after that, I would say some kind of spin of some kind, even just a 180, just to feel out the swing weight. And what I noticed with this board, it's a Murray still. It's still the Hyperlite Murray, it's still the board you love, but you can feel that's a little bit lighter weight. So the swing weight, it just moves easier. So it actually took me a little bit to adjust to. My first set, you know, you have all these like micro muscle feelings in your body and you're used to something, and even just change it a little bit, it's an adjustment. And where like maybe I had to push on my old Murrays, with this one it was just a little bit lighter weight. So that took me about 2 or 3 sets to get used to. And just for reference, I've got about 10 sets on this board right now. You know, pop wise, it did feel just as poppy as a normal Murray. I wouldn't say it's gonna like totally change your riding, or at least that's how it felt for me, as more of like maybe like a everyday intermediate advanced rider. Definitely lighter on just the overall feel of the board in the air, whether you're spinning or doing a straight air. Here's a little video as I'm unwrapping this board originally, and I just got to say this board is beautiful. You know, Murray did a really cool graphic this year with a lot of his pasture graphics, and this board basically takes that, and you know, it's kind of like a dark black brownish top sheet with a gold underlayer with the carbon fiber, and so much detail, like the timeline here of the different events in Murray's career, as well as everything, and then the gold base. I don't know, I personally just love the look of this board, and coming from the bug board, which I also loved, which was a little bit brighter colored, you know, it's nice to have something that's a little bit limited and a little bit different. But you know, all in all, one of my more favorite Murray graphics since I've been riding these boards. You know, and for me too, riding this board, I did pair it with a different brand bindings. I just love Ronix bindings on the boat, so I went with the RXTs in this case, which is going to be their more like medium, slightly softer flexing boat binding, Mossy's binding, and you know, I usually ride them or the ones. It just happened that I found a deal on these, and I love the white, and so yeah, on the RXTs for now with this, which I think pairs well. So anyway, with that said, I'm going to take off these bindings and let's weigh this thing. You know, always make sure to use number 3 Phillips head. Don't use number 2. You'll strip your screws, unless it's a older board that requires number 2 Phillips. Yeah. All right. So moment of truth. I'm going to point the camera down here, and we're going to weigh the boards. All right, so we've got the scale zeroed out. You know, these boards, yeah, I got a couple stickers on them, but they have the same fins. So this is gonna be the older Murray from a couple years ago. We're gonna stick that on there. I'm just gonna try bouncing it. So, I don't know, just about 8 pounds, maybe a hair under. The Murray Loaded. I haven't even actually done this before, so it's kind of exciting. Here we go. So, a little bit lighter. Not a ton though. I mean, we're talking like, I don't know. Talking about 6-7 ounces lighter, half a pound. So I guess that's not nothing. Maybe slightly under half a pound. Trying to hold this from falling over. But yeah, that's your weight difference there. So for me, did I necessarily need this board? No, but I think it looks sick. I like supporting Sean Murray. He's one of my favorite wakeboarders, especially of the OG generation. And I'm happy with this board. I'm gonna keep riding it. You know, just to summarize things up, it's a Murray at the end of the day. It's a great wakeboard, just a little bit lighter and a little bit harder pop, especially if you're a more advanced rider. I think that's the people that are gonna really benefit from this board. But if you're you know, beginner intermediate and you just want something that's top line, that looks sick and definitely won't hold you back, you could ride this too. It's not just for advanced riders. I'm just calling out the Loaded core benefits advanced riders probably the most. Comment below if you have any questions about this board. Happy to measure anything or give any other additional insights into my experiences with it. So with that, anyway, thanks for listening. Hope you have a great day, rest of your season. We'll have some more videos coming up, probably some boat videos and maybe some cable binding related videos. And I'm looking forward to sharing that. So we'll catch you later. Bye.